I just want to say we're so passionate about classic movies. We're going to expand the conversation.
You can see the passion that's in this room.
It's thrilling to the core.
Put a new spin on some vintage films.
It's classic movies and more.
Hi, I'm Aurora for Classic Movies and More, and today we have a very, very special guest, Mrs. Marie Gatti, who happens to be the mother of our own Anne Marie Gatti of Classic Movie Hub. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, this is so exciting. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your lifelong love of classic movies. Now, you grew up in New York City.
Yes, I did.
Okay, where in New York City?
In Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn. And you had the opportunity to visit a lot of the, what we would call the movie palaces today.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about going to those shows?
Surely. Well, Radio City I loved. And there I saw The Pirate when it premiered there with Judy Garland and Gene Kelly.
Wow.
And I loved it. And you would get two features, movie features, and the show. It was very enjoyable. The New York City Paramount had the same presentation, two good movies and a nice stage show, which I saw the rock and roll show with Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers.
Wow.
Little Richard, and everyone that was popular at that time I got to see on stage, and I loved it. And then we had also the Brooklyn Paramount, which I got to go see, and they had very good entertainment also.
It was very different back then, right, going to the movies than it is today?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Now, who is your favorite actor?
My favorite actor is Gary Cooper. And I saw him in his first movie in For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Wow.
But all of them were great actors at that time. I liked Tyrone Power, Robert Taylor, you name it, Cary
Well, you have
Grant.
excellent taste. Cary
Yes,
Grant.
yes.
My
they were
personal
all
favorite.
excellent in what they did.
But most people can't even imagine going to see a stage show followed by two features, and then they used to show cartoons sometimes,
Right,
And a newsreel,
right,
It was worth your money back then.
That's right. When the theater that was across the street from where I lived in Brooklyn, between Grammy Avenue and Mesereau Street was the Rainbow. And they used to show every Saturday movies before my time. Like I got to see Charlie Chaplin in silent movies too. I saw Errol Flynn and Robin Hood and all, and I mean, it was such a pleasure to go. And you saw two beautiful features with 10 cartoons every time you went.
Wow.
And it was excellent, it really was.
Did the theaters used to fill up?
Oh yes, definitely, definitely. And all the theaters, like the New York Paramount, like Radio City, they had chandeliers, they were exquisite. Every one of them, not like the movies today.
Right. It was an experience, and
yes,
people used to get dressed up,
yes,
right, to go to the movies.
Definitely.
Now, going to the movies years ago was a totally different experience than it is today.
Yes.
But one of the reasons why is because they used to give things away. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. Especially like on Saturdays when they had the matinee movies. They would give you, like, say, a cup and a saucer. The next week, give a soup bowl.
A soup bowl.
And eventually you'd make a collection of the complete set.
Wow.
And all of the theaters at that time had something to do with something like
Right.
that.
And do you remember the movie lobby cards? They used to be very famous back then. They used to give them out. They would look like miniature posters of the movie, like postcards.
Yes,
do you
I do,
remember
but very
them?
vaguely,
Yeah,
though. You know,
yeah.
you brought it up, and it brought it back to my mind, you know.
Because nowadays we talk about it all the time.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
beautiful they were, and I would love to have a collection myself. So I can imagine back then I would have loved to collect them to go into the theaters.
Well, they
But-
used to have programs too.
Right.
And I had a collection, but we had a flood, and they got all ruined from when I was young. And unfortunately, it was a shame because it broke
Wow.
my heart
Yeah.
that they got ruined.
What's your favorite type of movie? Do you prefer dramas, musicals?
Well, it all depends who's appearing in it.
Right.
I like comedies, like Cary Grant was very versatile.
Yes, he
He
was.
could play any role.
He
He
could
was
do
good
everything.
in comedy. I enjoyed him in that. I loved dramas. I loved musicals, and as long as the performance was good, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Humphrey Bogart, I loved.
Yeah.
James Cagney. I forgot the first movie I saw with James Cagney. We saw it in at the Rainbow, Public Enemy.
Oh wow.
And he scared me.
Yes, he did.
because he was a very good dancer.
Yeah,
you know?
He's another one. He could do it all.
Yes,
Dance, sing,
oh yes.
be the best gangster in movies.
He was
just everything,
excellent.
Yeah,
Well, for Yankee Doodle Dandy, he won an Academy Award
Yeah.
in there. You know.
Yeah.
And, but
what a performance. Yeah.
I loved the just to at that era to be at these places just to see the performances. You know, they were excellent.
Well, you and I have something else in common. You're also a big Elvis fan.
Oh, definitely,
Yes.
definitely. I'm glad you brought that
Yes,
up.
me too.
I
Any
saw his
opportunity.
first movie when I was in junior high school. And,
Love Me Tender.
Yes, I loved.
Did you
it.
swoon and faint?
Oh yeah,
and
I
all
felt
that?
like
Yes,
that.
you did feel like it. Yeah, it was going to happen. Yeah, what a performer he was, right?
Yes.
And beautiful man.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
So did you go to the movies with your sisters and brothers? Did you have a big family, or was it something that you used to escape to
Well, with my friends.
with your friends?
When I went to see The Pirate, I went with my godmother, took me there. And we enjoyed it and all. But we lived right across the street, and my mother used to bring me across, and all the children, it was the only children in the afternoon at the matinees. And it used to be beautiful,
Yeah.
you know.
And you could spend all day there.
Yeah,
So-
that's
so
right.
the parents
they
didn't
wouldn't
have to pay
ask
for-
you to leave or anything. You
Right.
could. They repeat the show.
You would just
and
stay
you
and
could have
see the
stayed
whole
there.
performance
Yes.
or line up again. Yeah, that's
It was
wonderful.
a whole different era.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. You also liked or like classic horror, and we were talking before of a particular film introduction that we both adore. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Frankenstein.
Yes.
Well, when I saw it at the matinee, it was before our time, and when I saw it, and it was black and white, and when he backed in to the room and turned around, his face was green and his hands were green in the movie. In the original movie, that's how it was
Right.
presented.
Right.
And everyone, all the kids practically ran underneath the seats to hide, scream, and then they'd come out again and peek to look,
Yeah.
at it and enjoy it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite entrances ever.
Yeah,
he comes
yeah.
he comes in backwards, turns around, and then sort of looks up very, very slowly, and it's still
And he
impressive
goes,
today.
"Ah."
Yeah, exactly. So that's wonderful. I mean, Karloff was
Yes.
amazing, right?
Oh, he was.
And
he was very good at
Bela
what he did.
Lugosi.
Yes.
We also talked
Yes.
about another great actor
Yeah.
that I don't think gets the credit he deserves.
Yeah, I thought he was, he was the best Dracula.
Yes,
Anyone
by far.
after him, they couldn't compete with him.
There you go. You heard it here, folks.
Yes, it's definitely.
No, yeah, absolutely. So you like every genre of movie?
Yes,
Yeah, as long as
yes.
it's good. That's what I say too.
Yeah.
As long as it's good and I believe the story, it's good enough for me. It doesn't matter what genre it is. If it's
Yes,
a
you're
crime
right.
movie, yeah.
It's how they present themselves, and they do a good job in their craft and the acting and all, and they really get you right into the story.
That's right.
I love that.
That's
I
right.
love that.
Yeah. Now, as you know, Anne Marie and I have become friends through our connection, and our connection is really our love of classic movies. How do you, because you've loved movies all your life, we were talking about your experiences going to the movies years ago. How do you feel about her becoming this great classic movie fan, having this blog and website that everybody goes to? Did that surprise you?
Well, I'm very proud of her. And I don't want to get too emotional.
That's okay.
about
That's
it.
okay.
I don't want to, because it's something that she loved as a child. Loved to look at these movies, the old movies on TV, and I love to, and I enjoy it, and it makes me very proud that she's in this industry.
Now, do you remember how you started showing her the classic movies?
Well, when she was young, she used to ask me questions, and I would show her. I had magazines and all. I would sit down and show her, and we would discuss movies, actors of my time. She was very interested in different types of movies and the actors and all. So we always had the conversations about it. She loved it.
Yeah, and you still spend time together.
Oh, definitely.
Talking about these old
definitely.
actors and
Yeah.
movies, and well, that's wonderful. Well, I had a blast talking to you, and I hope you had fun.
Oh, I enjoyed being here and being invited.
Oh my gosh,
And,
this is
just talking with you was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. I don't think we can beat this actually, so I don't know what we're gonna do after this.
I don't know.
I'm gonna invite someone else to come on stage and
Okay.
or come on the show and talk to you for a few minutes.
Oh,
So
thank
stay
you.
put, and we'll
Okay,
be right back.
definitely, definitely.
Hi, this is Anne Marie Gaddy from Classic Movies and More, and I'm here with a very special guest today. Hi, Mom. How are you?
I'm fine, daughter. I'm fine,
This
thank
is
you.
my mother, Marie Gaddy, whose Twitter handle, by the way, is Love Classic Movies, LV Classic Movies. Yes, my mom is on Twitter and doing a heck of a job there as well.
You saw me shaking.
So, Mom, how does it feel to be with the big kahunas here at Classic Movies and More?
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Just discussing things that I love to talk about classic movies.
Classic movies, yes.
And it's enjoyable. I really enjoy it.
Well, many classic movie fans, I think, probably grew up with classic movies the way I did. You know, maybe not all, but I think many do. A lot of my classic movie friends and I talk about this. But we owe our love of classic movies to the way our parents shared classic movies with us growing up. And I have very specific memories of the movies that my mom shared with me, the movies that my dad shared with me. And let's talk a little bit about that, because I remember being really young. I remember us sitting in our living room, and I remember you showing me It Happened One Night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I think you like that movie.
I
One of your
certainly
you
do.
certainly do.
I like
And I
Lon
remember
Gable
I was so young. Probably, I don't know. I mean, grammar school, very early years of
Yes,
grammar
yes.
school, and I remember us sitting in the living room watching the movie. I remember you explaining things to me about the walls of Jericho, and not really the adult version, but the kid version of the walls of Jericho and what was going on in the movies, and you telling me about Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert, and I remember you sharing a lot of those types of movies with me, like Wuthering Heights and movies like that. So I think you spoke a little bit before, but what are some of your top desert island movies?
Oh, my.
Oh, yes, I knew you'd love that question.
What can I tell you? I mean, I loved all the movies.
Yep,
Let
you
me
got
think.
five. You got
Well,
five. That's it.
My favorite actor was Gary Cooper. And I loved the movies he made. I thought he was an
Which
excellent
one?
actor.
All right, you're going to be stranded on a desert island. What movie? What Gary Cooper movie would you take with you?
Well,
I know what
I
the
get very
answer's gonna be, but go ahead.
repetitious about it. But For Whom the Bells Toll. When I saw him in there, that was my first movie. I was very taken back by him.
You know, I was totally wrong. So this is how I don't know my mother. I
What'd
thought
you
for
think?
sure you were going to say Love in the Afternoon.
Oh, I love Love in the Afternoon too,
Oh,
but that was one of his latest movies.
I know.
Because
He was
he
yeah,
was
he
on in
getting up
age,
there.
and I think it was right after that, not too long after that, he passed on. But he was excellent in there.
Yeah.
And they wanted to, Audrey Hepburn wanted to appear with him, and they thought he was,
So,
I read this,
yeah,
too old for
yeah.
him, but she didn't think so. She thought he was so dignified and a very good actor,
Yeah.
you
Good
know.
taste, right?
So I thought they were very well,
Okay.
good in there.
So we got one desert island pick would be for whom the bell tolls, right?
Yes.
You got 4 more. What other movies would you take
Oh,
with you?
God. I saw so many of his, and now I can't even think.
I'm thinking probably a Cary Grant film.
Cary Grant.
Which one?
Oh. I can't.
We watched one the other night that I know you enjoyed, the one with Sophia Loren. Would you take Houseboat with you, or would you
Oh,
take,
that was excellent.
or would you take
I
Bringing
saw
Up
that in the
Baby,
theater.
or you saw Houseboat in the theater?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was the Rainbow Neighborhood Theater or if it was in Radio City, but I saw that. That was. He was excellent.
Okay,
And
so
Sophia
what's your
Loren.
favorite? So for Cary Grant, would it be something like Houseboat, Father Goose? Would it be more like Bringing Up Baby, or The Awful
He was
Truth,
good
or
in
My
all of
Favorite
them. He
Wife?
was very talented.
I would take My Favorite Wife with me.
Yeah, that was very good with Irene Dunn. She was excellent. They were excellent together. And he made movies when he first started. I forgot the name of the movie where he danced and sang.
Okay, wait. There's one movie that my mother introduced me to when I was young that no one knew about. And I remember even when I grew older and used to ask people about this movie, people looked at me like I was insane. It was Once Upon a Time.
Yes,
You loved that movie
was the
when
one
you were a
with
kid.
with the caterpillar.
The Dancing Caterpillar Curly. So that's another
Yes,
movie I would have
yes.
never known about if it wasn't
Oh,
for my
when
mother.
I saw that,
And
I
You
cried
remember
when
that
I saw it.
I
When-
know.
oh,
How
that
old
was-
were you when you saw that?
Oh God, maybe I was about 11.
Mhm.
Yeah, 10 or 11 maybe when I saw
Cary Grant
it.
wasn't such a nice fellow in that movie.
No,
huh?
no.
But
But
it
that
was
was
with
an
the little
excellent
dancing
acting.
caterpillar.
That was excellent
Yeah,
acting in
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot what song he danced to.
Oh,
That's my, what was
oh,
it?
yes, sir, that's my baby. No, sir, I don't mean maybe.
Oh
Yes,
my gosh, this is
that's
crazy.
my baby now.
Okay, so that's a good one. I know you used to love Wuthering Heights.
Oh, that was excellent.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah.
think. Oh, The Sound
But
of
they
Music.
didn't stick to the book. With what
I
they
know,
was.
Wuthering Heights.
They went on.
very, very
They did
different.
it on their own because I read the book.
I read
And
the
what
book
were you
too.
gonna mention
The apple
that-
doesn't fall far from the
Yeah.
tree. So
And
yeah,
what were you-
Heathcliff
what
was
else
a
did you
nasty
mention?
fellow.
I didn't
The
think-
Sound of Music,
Oh.
Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Oh, I love that.
I know
Seven
what
Brides for
she
Seven-
likes.
The Sound of Music I saw on stage with Mary Martin.
I know. Ugh.
And then when they made it with Julie Andrews, they were both just as good. I mean, Mary Martin was excellent on stage.
Oh,
And,
I'm gonna. Oh.
Go ahead,
Now I
go
have to.
ahead.
Now I have to go because I know people. I'm gonna faint. You saw Barbara Streisand on Broadway.
Yes, I did.
I know you did, and you have the program.
I have the program. Oh, I hope that's not the one that.
No, yeah, I can get it. Was
I
the
could
one
get
where
it for
she
your
plays
host
Miss
there.
Marmalstein?
Yeah, I could get
right?
it for your host.
And my mother gave me the program. I have it.
Oh, you haven't? No?
Well, maybe she didn't give it to me, but I have it. Okay. And what happened when you saw this unknown?
She was excellent.
She was fantastic. Didn't she get a standing
She
ovation?
got a standing ovation. Nobody knew who Barbara Streisand was. And the minute she sang and performed, the audience went crazy when they saw it.
So you've seen Mary Martin on stage.
Yeah,
You saw her in The
yeah.
Sound of Music.
Yeah.
You didn't see her in South Pacific, did you? She was in South Pacific, yeah.
No, that was.
Oh,
I
I'm
was
sorry.
trying-
No, but you didn't see that.
No, I didn't.
Did you see her in any? But you saw Gwen Verdon. Did you tell me
Gwen
who else you
Verdon,
saw who on
uh,
Broadway?
Oh God, she was excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't think of the name.
Subways of
wait,
Sleeping or help me out here.
Sweet Charity.
Sweet Charity.
She was
okay.
excellent in there.
So who else did you see on Broadway? So Mary Martin, my gosh, that must have been incredible. Barbara Streisand, oh my gosh, I can't even take
I
it.
saw
Um,
a funny thing.
Oh, you saw with Zero Mostel.
Yeah, Zero
a funny thing happened on
Mostel.
the
I
way to
saw
the
that to a
forum.
forum.
Ay, ay,
That
ay.
was excellent.
Okay.
The acting was
That's
excellent.
right. So you saw some excellent stuff.
I should have made a list.
All right. So we kind of didn't get through all your desert island picks, but I think that you've got, I have a feeling I know kind of sort of what would be on your desert island picks. But let's see, anything else you can remember that, I don't know, like I'm trying to think of things we watched together or things that, I don't know, that stick out for you, movies that moved you a certain way at some point? I know you loved Guys and Dolls.
Oh,
When
that
you
was
saw that in the
excellent. Yes,
theater.
I saw
you
that
loved
in
Marlon
the
Brando,
theaters.
right?
And the music in there was excellent.
I
Frank
know.
Sinatra. Frank Sinatra really was not that. I mean, Marlon Brando was the star in there, and it was excellent.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think the other stage shows I saw with popular
Well,
performers.
there were a lot because you used to go to Brooklyn Paramount, New
Yeah,
York
New
Paramount.
York
You went to the
Paramount.
Roxy.
I went to the Roxy, Radio
the
City.
the Rainbow, all of those movie palaces that were really palaces,
They
right?
had
Didn't they have
excellent-
gold ceilings and
they were
chandeliers
beautiful.
and
They
red
all looked
carpets
like Radio
and,
City.
Yeah.
You walked in the lobbies and they had the velvet carpeting, the wide staircases, and all those big chandeliers.
And I think you were telling me when you were a little girl and went to the Rainbow for the matinee.
the
it was
Rainbow was like
12
It
cents.
was 12 cents.
12 cents.
Now
and you
that's
could
giving
stay
my
all
age
day.
And then it went up to maybe after a few years to 15 and then 25.
Gosh, that's crazy.
In New York, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't as expensive as it is
No, of
today
course
to
not.
see stage shows and all. But I can't give you a perfect figure of how cheap it was. But it was nothing like today.
Okay. So, favorite actor Gary Cooper, and then let's wrap up with favorite actress. Who's your favorite
Oh, my
actress?
favorite actress.
It's a tough one, right?
They all were good. For some reason, I don't know if you agree with me. I like Jennifer Jones.
I know you always liked Jennifer
I
Jones.
saw her
yeah.
in her first movie where she played, it was about, I can't remember the name, maybe you know, it was where she becomes a saint.
Oh my gosh, Song of Bernadette.
Song of Bernadette.
Well, that was a
That-
movie you introduced me to when I was a really
Yeah,
little girl.
that was her first
Yeah.
movie, and she won an Academy Award for that. But there was something about her. The others were just as good. I mean, there was Greer Garson. They were excellent. Every one of them were. Claudia Colbert. But there was something about her, Jennifer Jones, that I really thought she.
And I know what you were telling me about. You were saying when you were young and you were going to the movies that the child actors that you liked because you were a kid too. You told me that you liked Margaret O'Brien.
Oh yes,
and-
Margaret
and-
O'Brien was excellent.
Yeah, but you said that when you were a kid, you really gravitated toward her because she was a kid.
Yes.
So you saw the Canterville Ghost. That's another one my
that
mom
was an
introduced me to, the
excellent,
Canterville
excellent
Ghost.
movie with her. She was an excellent
But you
child
really
star.
enjoyed.
I mean, Diana Durbin was good too.
Diana Durbin.
She was
And of course
and had a
Judy Garland,
beautiful
Mickey
yeah.
Rooney,
Judy
yeah.
Garland was excellent.
Yeah.
Diana Durbin had a beautiful soprano voice.
Yeah,
as a
you liked
child.
Jackie Coogan
Oh,
as well,
Jackie
right?
Coogan was
Of
very
course. Okay.
They were. I don't think I'm the only one that's saying that they were good at what they did. You couldn't be an actor and develop into something unless you were good at it. It's not.
Well, they were trained in so many different
They were
areas.
trained.
Okay.
And a lot of them, like Liz Taylor, she was another good actress. They learned and studied in the studio. They had it set up for these young stars so that they get an education
Yep,
while they
the
did that.
studio system.
And-
Thank goodness for the studio system.
Yeah. Liz
lot of
Taylor was
talent.
excellent. She was beautiful, an excellent child star too. They were all they got into the role. Mickey Rooney. That I loved it, and I look at the movies on TV.
I know. Movies on TV, movies on DVD.
Yeah,
So a lot of great old movies. So
Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
I love
that's a great movie too. Well, I want to thank you for spending time with us this afternoon.
Thank
the
you
big
for
kahuna's
inviting me.
here. And,
The big kahunas.
I'm saying that,
I
it's
really
an inside joke
appreciate
kind
it.
of.
Thank
But
you
you
for
guys can
inviting
probably
me.
guess what that joke is. We're the big kahunas here.
I like
So-
that expression. Thank
So
you for
thank
inviting
Thank you
me.
for
I
coming and
enjoyed it.
joining with us here at Classic Movies and More.
And meeting everybody. I enjoyed that.
Right.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.